And now back over to the long jump. This is Sky Johnson from Cornell. Johnson, her first jump, 3.93 meters. That's 12 feet, 10 3/4 inches. And next we'll have Miley Cry, who is another Cornell long jumper.
It's always one of those things. I mean, the individuals that come from California or Florida up to the Ivy Leagues or to any school in the North, it's a little culture shock from a weather standpoint where you're used to the, I mean, San Diego is, year-round beauty, and then all of a sudden, boom, snow.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of places, indoor track is kind of foreign to some of these warmer environments. Track is an outdoor sport because the weather is always nice, and so it's a very different sort of season, different events, and I think a new experience for a lot of
When I was coaching at Cal Berkeley, I mean, we didn't have an indoor track, but we competed in indoor track. So it's kind of like that oxymoron of statements. Hey, you're an indoor track athlete, but you're only going to actually go to competitions indoors. You're never going to practice indoors.
Waiting on the measurement for Sky Johnson. But in the meantime, first jump coming for Lauren Yaboda Cody.
You can see a lot in these individuals that are taking their first jump in the second flight of the long jump. You got 3 fouls so far. They're kind of getting their position. They warmed up originally, but then they had about 10 minutes to kind of get their bearing straight, get that re-warm up taken. A lot of times, again, it takes a little bit of time to make that adjustment. And a lot of them are fouling by a very small margin.
So it'll be Alexandra Kelly, the next on the long jump. And Kelly, who had the second best distance this season to her teammate and classmate Georgina Scoot. We will see after Kelly, Jada Joseph, from Brown will be the next to go. Scoot had a foul on her first jump. We didn't see it, but she'll try and get a number on the board, put herself into position. And now Joseph from Brown. This is her first jump of the competition. See right now, Yaboa Cody, her teammate, and Makaya Fofana from Brown atop the board. As far as Brown winning this event, they won it in back-to-back years in 2019 and 2020 when Ijoma Uche did it. 4 times the Bears have won it. Defending champion is Alexandra Kelly, although Lauren Yaboa Cody was the winner at Outdoor Heps.
Right now, Brown sits 3 of the top 4 places early on in this second section, excuse me.
Tia Taylor from Cornell, the last one to make her initial jump. This is flight 2 of 2. We saw 3 jumps from the first 8 competitors. This is a little bit of a bigger field, so it'll be a bit more spread out. 11 competitors in this flight. And Dominique Romaine from Yale will be the next one up. She had a 4.29 meter jump on her initial try. So Romaine, junior from Knoxville, Tennessee, set a PR in long jump earlier this season, went 5.93 meters, so she knows that she is capable of really rising up the leaderboard, and that's exactly what she does. Not quite a personal best, but she moves herself into second place overall, right behind the defending outdoor champion.
It's a great early jump for the junior.
Bridget McNally from Dartmouth, she is one of the favorites in this event. She won 2 of the 3 long jump events that she had this season. And in the other event, she came in second place.
She's the school record holder at Dartmouth, and as her coaching staff defined her as a gamer. always performing big at the big events.
She didn't score at indoors last year, but at outdoors, she had a personal record and finished in second place behind Yeboah Cody. Her second jump after the first one put her in fourth place to this point. Her personal record that she set last spring was 6.25 meters. And this is good enough to get her into second place at 5.88, so she exceeds her first jump.
I'm going to still hold true, Alex, to my thing. It's going to take about 590 to make the final. I think you're going to see after the fouls and those first couple attempts from individuals, they're really going to start to come alive.
The Scoot will get a number here. Georgina Scoot from Maypool, England.
That looked a little bit farther than what McNulty just did.
And it was by a heck of a lot. 6.15 meters. She goes to 20 feet 2 1/4 inches. She is the first one to surpass 20 feet in the meet. And after working out some kinks on that first leap, she is in form here with her second.
And I think you're going to start to see more of that over the next couple jumps from individuals.
After Scoot, this is Mariella Schweitzer.
A good jump as well.
Schweitzer from Dartmouth. She was in the top 12 in the Ivy League over the course of the indoor season. She pushes herself into 6th place as a result of that jump. And so, still see plenty of Brown names on that list, but up at the top you've got Scoot, and you'd imagine at some point you're going to see Alexandra Kelly, who fouled on her initial attempt.
And again, the big key is that only 6 places score in the Ivy League, as opposed to 8 in a traditional setting. Only 6. So just because you make the final doesn't automatically mean you get to produce a point.
Well, and you only need one jump, and you can win from a jump in the first flight that you have. You can win on jump 1, you can win on jump 6. After Lauren Jones lands, Sky Johnson getting set to go. Johnson went for 12 feet 10 3/4 inches. Currently in 17th place, and here she goes trying to march her way up the board, get herself into position to be able to make that final group.
And to give you a little update on the pole vault, we are now at 12 feet 3.5 inches, 3.75 meters. There's currently 12 individuals over that bar, just starting, 12 individuals that are advanced to that bar. A lot of pole vaulting left to go. Jessica Thompson, Hilliard Hansen, Runman Hodge.
This is Miley Cry, who is set to go for Cornell. They've got 3 in a row and 4 in this second flight on the long jump. Update, by the way, they are continuing in the weight throw, and we have a new leader for that competition. It's Emilia Colacotroni from Harvard, who just tossed a personal best 19.43 meters. That's 63 feet 9 inches, and she has put herself into an overwhelming lead by exactly 1 meter over Annika Kelly from Princeton. So just to update you what's going on over there at the women's weight throw, Colacotroni with that huge toss of 19.43. That is impressive from her, and it would be the 3rd longest throw in the Ivy League this season.
Cyprus native.
Colacotroni won her very first college competition in the weight throw at the HBCU and Ivy Challenge, which has become an annual tradition here to start off the season. This is Alexandra Kelly, who is hoping to land a jump here at the end of this group. So this is a big jump here for Kelly to make sure that she doesn't have too much pressure on herself for that third jump. She is the defending champion. She also won the triple jump at Indoor Heps last year.
An outstanding competitor overall with both the jumps. You know, a foul at this attempt with the second one, that puts a lot of pressure on yourself going into the third. You know, I mean, she could actually take a safe jump. You know, if this becomes a foul, I don't think she will. I think she'll be aggressive with it. As you can see her, she's coming down the runway with that right now.
I think that's a quality
Definitely
jump
a much
here.
better jump right there. That's gonna put her close to the lead.
So we'll see what the measurement is for Kelly. As everybody's finished up 2 jumps, and boy, wasn't enough. All the way up to second place, and right behind her teammate Georgina Scoot. And while we have a moment, let's check back in with Adam Giardino.
Thanks, guys. The mile trial is just completed for the women, 2 different heats, and so the top 8 have been established. When you look at the field of competitors on the women's mile side, out of the top 10 during the regular season, the numbers 3, 4, 6, and 7 are in the field. The leader, the prohibitive favorite of Maya Ramsden. You heard Jason Soretsky. We talked with him earlier, Harvard's head coach. He said that they're saving Maya for the 3,000. They're saving her for a different part of a relay team. So she's not in this field. And the prohibitive favorite, Margaret Liebig of Princeton, qualified for the finals with the best time in the field. Now, having said all of that, the trials, as you expect during the mile and the longer events, if you have a trial, they're going to be significantly slower. So Liebig, who owns the Princeton program record in the mile, she set that this year. Her time in this trial, guys, was 13 seconds slower. We'll expect to see that time be much more competitive, much faster tomorrow, but a lot of these athletes pacing themselves, knowing that they just need to finish top 8, and tomorrow they can really put their foot on the gas.
Well, like we said at the earlier broadcast, today's about surviving and advancing. It's not necessarily about put up the times. It's about making sure you put yourself in position to have success, to score points going forward. The decision that Harvard made with Ramsden, I mean, hey, she's got the Indoor World Championships next weekend, and then is going to come back and try to win an NCAA championship the following weekend. So, I mean, she's already in the 3K. She's going to try to. They're going to try to put some big marks up on the DMR. So you got to make a decision. Are you going to try to, you know, use her and score as many points as possible, or are you going to try to do what's best for the overall team, maybe even a little bit longer down the line?
And I don't think anybody needs, I mean, we might be wanting to see it, but, you know, we don't need to have Maya Ramsden prove herself in the mile after what she just did a couple of weeks ago at the Millrose Games, where all she did was run the fastest time ever for a New Zealand woman and came within about a half a second of the NCAA record in the mile, and just an unbelievable performance. And it came the day after she was up here in Boston running in a relay. She was invited down to New York for the Millrose Games, competed at the Armory, and came away with a breathtaking time.
Well, what that actually does, in all honesty, Alex, that's a great prep for the NCAA championships, because you're used to running rounds. I mean, the NCAAs, unlike a conference meet, you've got to put it down and put up a great mark to get into the finals, because everybody's trying to do that. So it's going to serve as a precursor for the NCAA championships, which, oh, by the way, are in Boston in a couple weeks.
And to run through the rest of that field that will be in the mile tomorrow, you've got Maggie Liebig from Penn. She had the top time. Augustine Hackett from Cornell. Nikki Vaness from Columbia, and she'll be a top competitor there. Kira Pretry from Yale. Andy Murray from Dartmouth. Olivia Morganti from Penn. Her teammates Zoe Shetty and Katie Poe. Harvard's Marianne Mijas, and then finally Fabiana Soreni from the University of Pennsylvania was the last to qualify. The first one to miss out was Princeton's Alexis Allen, as she finished about 3/4 of a second or so behind that last qualifying time. The top 10 made it in after the 2 heats that they ran earlier today. So it should be a really interesting group of 10, and definitely some big names up at the top there with Liebig and Vanessa, among others.
And we're now at the women's long jump, as you can see on the screen. This is the 3rd attempts for all the competitors in the second flight. Scoot already has the lead.
This is Mariella Schweitzer, currently in 9th place. She has landed both of her jumps, got better on jump 2 from where she was on jump 1, and she will not improve on it, so she'll finish in 9th place.
It's the dreaded place to finish in track and field, just outside. In some conferences, they take 9 of the finals. I know we took 9 of the finals in the ACC, and in the SEC they did in the field events. As we have the Hep 60-meter dash heat.
Yeah, you can see that going on in the background. We'll get you the updated results when those become final, but they are in the 60. Always so much fun. And if you're doing warm-up laps around the track, you got to be careful because you might run into somebody who's wrapping up their 6.7-second jaunt from one end to the other. Sky Johnson with her final jump of this round.
6 individuals still competing in that long jump.
Johnson is looking to improve. She's currently in 19th position. Trying to surpass that 5 3/4 meter mark to move up into the mix of things. Although if she did, she would knock out her teammate, Miley Cry, who's there on screen, who's going to go next. And you see Johnson equals what she did on her second jump, but she will not be moving on to the final round.
She was struggling on the runway there those last 2 attempts.
So Cry, she'd love to put herself in more sure position here. You talked about the elevated platform there, and one thing that's notable about the track is this is often considered, when it comes to the sprinters, pretty fast track because of the springiness. Some tracks are better suited for maybe distance running, not to say that this one isn't, but it seems that sprinters and to that extent, long jumpers, triple jumpers, everybody who has got speed as a part of their game really enjoys this particular surface.
It's a phenomenal place to throw, and it's a phenomenal place to high jump. It's some great results. You'll see that over the course of the weekend. Both the long jump and the pole vault, there's such a stringiness to it. And the straightaway races. Outstanding for performance on that. Every track's a little different, and that's where the kind of the oddity of indoor track is there's not a uniformed, surface. There's not a uniformed shape or measurement on the banks of tracks. So, some tracks, kind of aid to, hey, this is going to be better for the 200, 400. These are tracks that are better. Even in the city of Boston, the BU track's great to run the 2, 4, and 8 in some of the distance races. Not so great for the short sprints. Not so very good to jump on it all. Whereas Harvard is phenomenal at everything. It's inside that inside the oval.
Kelly fouls on her final jump, but she'll be in good position, of course, to move on to that next round. And so this is Jada Joseph, who is currently in 8th place and a little bit nervous, you might think. She wants to make it into finals.
Looks like a clean jump on that for Jada Joseph. She only has one other individual that has an opportunity to pass her, Taylor, after this.
Joseph was the 3rd seed coming in, and that's going to let her breathe a little bit easier. She moves up all the way into 4th place.
She's not going to have a problem with that anymore. Not with just one competitor left. Taylor's going to have a pretty good jump to make it into that finals. She's going to have to improve her distance by well over a foot.
And she's asking for a little bit of clapback, in the words of our public address announcer, Clyde Duncan Jr. and his wife, Nikki. They do an outstanding job as the voices of the Ivy Heps. And so The Egg Harbor City, New Jersey native Tia Taylor trying to move up from 12 into the top 8.
That was clean.
Well, it was a foul, and so Taylor will not move on, and so the top 8 names you see will be moving on for 3 more jumps and a chance for Princeton to get some big points. But hey, also Brown, they've got 3 in the top 8. Could be a golden opportunity for the Bears to get off to a great start here this weekend. Brown, you think back to last year, they came and cut the group to 8, and your leader was Georgina Scoot, fouled on her first attempt, but on her second jump went 6.15 meters. That's 20 feet 2 1/4 inches. That's the jump right there that has earned her the top spot, but she has her teammate Alexandra Kelly close on her heels. She fouled in her first and third attempts, but this was the one that counted, and it was good for 6.11 meters. And then Lauren Yaboa Cody from Brown figured to be a factor in this event, and her second jump went 5.97 meters. That's 19 feet 7 inches. She is currently in 3rd place, followed by her teammate Jada Joseph running in 4th place. These are the latest standings, as again, they have just gotten underway in round 4.
It's kind of been chalk so far just to make it back to the finals. Those that we thought would be there are there. We've got the women's weight throw that's also going to be coming up. The finals, the reseeding, shuffling things around for the finals in the women's weight throw, and the pole vault is still going on as we speak. The bar is now raised to 390, 12 feet 9.5 inches.
He's Brian Fetzer. I'm Alex Vispoli, our sideline reporter, Adam Giardino. We're with you all weekend long here from Gordon Track in Cambridge. Harvard University hosting this event for the first time since 2019. And you've heard it, it's a special environment. So many of these venues are when it comes to the indoor Heps. There are very few that are duds. You think when they've had it at the Armory, it's been fantastic there. At other sites around the league, and some of them no longer used, but you think, it was always fun when they were up at Barton Hall at Ithaca, and I don't think coaches don't really like going up there all that often, but it's a great venue when it's been hosted there in the past, and Leverone Fieldhouse. But one thing that we've noted is that the coaches, we talked about how there's not necessarily a lot of uniform standards when it comes to a track, but the preference certainly seems to be the banked tracks.
Oh, absolutely. The banks are going to be a lot better for the events that go around the oval. So, you sit there and you look at, you have the Armory, which is a phenomenal facility. Harvard's got a phenomenal bank facility. Penn is actually building an indoor facility right now, and they're going to be put in the mix of hosting the Ivy League Indoor Championship in years coming forward. It's super excited to get an indoor track in Philadelphia, which has such history of the sport of track and field when you look at the Penn relays. So that just makes it even better.
You've heard the gun going off in the background. The trials for the 60-meter dash are underway. And in the last heat, we saw one of the favorites, Christiana Wachuku from the University of Pennsylvania, took her heat at 7.41 seconds, which matches what she did earlier this season, which is a top 6 time in Ivy League history. So she is on her game, and we'll see what her teammate Fora Abinusawa, sophomore from Penn, who is the favorite and the defending champion in both the 60, and she was the winner of the 100 at Outdoor Heps last year. So again, we're talking about Penn wanting to come away with big results, top of some of these events, and looks to be one of them.
I'll tell you, the one Penn athlete that I'm super excited to see is Bella Whitaker. What an incredible competitor. In the 400, you get to see her a little later. She broke Meredith Rainey, who is an absolute icon in track and field, broke her record, her Ivy League record that stood for, over 3 decades. And, she's running the 60, which shows the versatility that she's actually has some good top-end speed. And she's coming up in the second heat of the 60 meters. It'll be coming forth in just a few seconds, actually.
Yeah, she'll be out there next. We'll report on what her time is. Whitaker broke the Ivy record in the 400 and the 500 this season. Just an unbelievable year as Lauren Yaboa Cody looking to move up from her 4th place position. She was clipped by her teammate Jada Joseph
on her last jump.
Yeah, Joseph has finished out her final jump. Or check that, she's made her 5th jump at 5.99, and Yaboa Cody,
big jump,
big personal best to move into the top position.
Second position.
Excuse me, second position. She topped her jump from last year when she won the long jump at 6.29. So it's her personal best this season.
Give you a quick update as we're talking. Whitaker just ran 7:39 in the 60.
Wow.
Easing up at about 55 meters, won that very, very comfortably. She's trying to do something that's, I mean, when Penn was telling me that she was going to try to run the 60, the 2, and the 4, I think I looked at Steve Dolan and was like, she's going to do what? But hey, if you're going to try to win a championship, and she's so much better than some of the other competitors in the 400, she's not going to need to drop a 51.69 to win that race, over the weekend. But, 62.4, that's a heck of a task for somebody at a championship.
And that 7.39, if that is official, that becomes the 5th fastest time in Ivy history, a personal best by 3/100ths. And boy, you talk about a heck of a group there. Those Penn sprinters in Abinusawa, Wachuku, Whitaker. It is quite the contingent, and a big reason why Penn figures to be a big factor on the women's side when it comes to the team standings.
Absolutely. We're on our 6th attempt in the women's long jump. Final attempt in the finals. Right now, the leader, Georgiana Scoot, who had a huge 5th round jump, 20 feet 7 1/4 inches.
Miley Cry's 3rd jump stands as her best, her final jump. It is a legal jump, and we'll see where the measurement comes for Cry. Looking to break into scoring territory.
Not quite as good.
And she will finish out in 8th place.
Again, the top 6 are all that score in the Ivy League, not top 8.
And Mikea Fofana has had to pass on a couple of attempts here because she is involved elsewhere. And so now the top 6 in terms of the names are set, the order not necessarily set. As Dominique Romain will aim to rise up here.
Less than an inch separates her from scoring in 5th position.
Romain's father was a professional track and field athlete. Her personal record is 5.93 meters. In fact,
that was a big
Bridget
run.
McNally, yep.
Big run in the 60-meter dash. We'll show you those highlights a little bit later. Bridget McNally from Dartmouth on the runway right now, currently sitting in 5th place.
McNally, the runner-up in the long jump last year. She is capable of exceeding this 5.88 meter mark. She has gone as high as 6 1/4.
Overstrided a little bit in the last 2 steps there. Most fouls and such take place in the last 2 meters of the board, those last 2 steps. When a lot of fouling occurs, which that happened right there. That's usually because you either get, your first 2 steps of the run or your last 2 steps of the run. That's when most of the fouls you can kind of position as a coach to see. Bridget had a foul on their last attempt.
Final attempt for Jada Joseph. And head down here, it's a legal jump, but I don't think that she expects it to be enough to work her into the top 3. And in fact, it was not a legal attempt. Foul, so Joseph will finish in 4th place, and now her teammate Lauren Yaboa Cody, the senior from Woodbridge, Virginia.
Great talent in the Woodbridge area. Virginia, always producing in Northern Virginia, some great track and field.
And a foul, that means that she'll finish either 2nd or 3rd, and we are guaranteed to see a Princeton Tiger win this event. Will it be Kelly, the defending champion, or her teammate Georgina Scoot? This is Alexandra Kelly. Last jump, 6.16 meters.
We'll be taking you to the women's weight throw final after this final attempt in a long jump.
Kelly gathering herself, trying to defend her championship in the indoor long jump. 3-time Ivy champion as just a freshman last year. Won the long jump and the triple jump at indoors and the triple jump at outdoors. She was the 3rd place finisher at outdoors in the long jump. And Kelly at 6.23. That means
nice
Georgina
PB.
Scoot is your winner. And so Scoot will look to extend. She came a centimeter shy of her personal best this season on her last attempt. And Scoot going for it all, the Ivy League champion. Await the measurements. It won't matter, though. The Tigers finish 1-2 as Scoot and Kelly for Princeton top this group. Yaboa Cody and Joseph 3-4, but you said it, 18 points going to the Tigers in the women's long jump as Georgina Scoot, after watching her classmate Alexandra Kelly dominate some of these jumping events a year ago, she gets in on the act with her first Ivy championship.
That's a great future for the Princeton Tigers with 2 sophomores. So we're going to look to get the champion on an interview here in a few minutes. We look over at the women's weight throw. They are now in the 5th round of the weight throw.
And currently looking at awards for the long jump right now. We heard Georgina Scoot earlier. She will be atop the podium. The 6 who scored, Dominique Romaine from Yale was in 6th place. In 5th place, it was Bridget McNally. In 4th place, Jada Joseph. In 3rd, Lauren Yaboa Cody from Brown. Her and Joseph, a couple of Brown Bears. There you see Alexandra Kelly, who was the defending champion. And I'm sure if she couldn't win it, she's happy that her classmate and her best friend, Georgina Scoot, was able to do so as she's getting ready to make her way to the top of the podium.
You can see the excitement of her when just getting her interview, the excitement that she has with her training partner. When you have a great training partner, they can kind of push you and kind of set you to things. That's a great environment to be in.
That is going to be a fun rivalry to watch. Friendly rivalry for sure, but to see those two go back and forth every winter and every spring in these long jump, triple jump events. What are they going to have between themselves by the time they graduate? And a pretty strong field at that. The difference between 1st and 2nd was only 5 centimeters. The difference.
Thank you very much, guys. Georgina, congratulations on taking hold the top spot. Take us through your performance over the course of this morning.
Sorry, I'm so tired. I just finished. Yeah, no, it was a really good competition. Me and my teammate both had a foul first jump, so we were a little bit nervous. Yeah, and then we were both really happy. We jumped really far, so yeah.
Veronica Kelly, I mean, you two trading back and forth. It could have gone to either of you. What's it like to have a training partner like that every day?
I mean, she's my best friend. Like, we do everything together, so it's honestly so much fun. Like, I couldn't have done it without her. Like, she couldn't have done it without me. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, every day we just go to training and do some fun jumps into the sand and then, you know, come here and get 1st and 2nd in the Ivy League. So it's great. It's amazing. I couldn't ask for a training partner.
And now you've got the opportunity to watch as your teammates perform. What's just the general excitement among the group heading into this weekend?
I mean, I love our team so much. We all love each other, so we're all just like really rooting for each other, you know, hoping we can get a team title as well as individual titles along the way. So it's been a really positive day. Yeah.
Again, congratulations and go catch your breath.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys, back up to you.
Princeton